173 foreign workers moved into New Zealand last year, according to recently released government data. In today's video, you and your family could be in New Zealand in a few months' time. I will explain to you the easiest pathway for you and your family to relocate to New Zealand. New Zealand has 3 tiers. If you get a job from the green list where you have jobs like IT, engineering, medical fields, and many more, if you get a job on the green list from your home country, you will be given permanent residence for you and your family to relocate from New Zealand. New Zealand has more than 40,000 accredited employers. These accredited employers are companies that the government have given licenses to hire foreign workers to come and work in New Zealand. All you need to do is to get a job offer from this accredited employer, and once you get a job offer, the accredited employer will give you the document you need, and in 8 weeks from the day you receive your offer of employment emailed to you, you and your family could be in New Zealand if you get a job offer from the green list. I will leave links in the description section of all the jobs that are on the green list so that you can have a look. If you get a job from tier 2, you will be able to move to New Zealand with your family. And after 2 years of living and working in New Zealand, you will be able to apply for permanent residence. Whilst you are in New Zealand, you can study for 3 months. The supporting spouse will have an open work permit, which allows them to work in any sectors of the New Zealand economy and set up a business. The last tier that the government also have is what is known as the transport and care sector. Now, the transport and care falls under the skilled migrant category. Now, the skilled migrant category, New Zealand is currently looking for truck drivers and bus drivers. If you find a job as a school driver, a school bus driver, for instance, you will be able to move to New Zealand as long as you have 2 years experience. Your family will be able to come with you. And also, if you are a truck driver, New Zealand is looking for truck driver. If you're coming across my video for the first time, my name is Francis. My mission is to give you the information for you to legally migrate abroad. If you want to legally migrate abroad without spending money on lawyers or agents, subscribe to this channel, share this video with your family and friends, and leave your comment in the comment section. So there are 3 ways you can go to New Zealand. You find a job on the on the green list, or you find a job on the tier 2, or you find a job on the skilled migrant category. There are 2 pathways under the skilled migrant category. You can go as a carer, or you can go as a transporter. A transporter could be as a truck driver, or you go as a bus driver. That is what New Zealand is. The minimum wage in New Zealand right now is $29.30. Now, I'm going to give you the latest update from the New Zealand Immigration Minister. This is the update that they've just released in New Zealand. Now, up to now in New Zealand, you do not need to have English test if you are coming to New Zealand to work in the unskilled sector. However, recent announcement, The government has now announced, I will read a quote from the minister, New Zealand is open provision to another attractive option that does not require an offer of employment during the application stage. The open visa allows individuals to stay in the country for 9 to 12 months, providing some post time to secure employment. So there's another opportunity. A significant factor contributing. A lot of people are moving to New Zealand because New Zealand has been rated as one of the most family-friendly countries in the world, one of the best places to raise children. So if you are a family person, New Zealand should be on your radar of countries that you should consider to go. Don't forget, there are more than 40,000 accredited employers in New Zealand. The link of all the accredited employer is in the description section, and the link of websites such as Seek Recruitment that you can use to start looking for a job in New Zealand is also there. If you are someone who is into IT, New Zealand needs you. New Zealand is crying out for IT workers, and you will be able to relocate to New Zealand. So, to summarize the update from New Zealand, there are 3 ways you can go to New Zealand. You find a job on the green list, and on that green list is mainly for professionals such as IT, engineering, medical doctors, and many more. The link of all the professions that are on the green list, on the tier 2 list, and the other list is in the description section for you to have a look. So as I said before, 173,000 people have moved to New Zealand through the Accredited Employer Scheme. You and your family could be heading to New Zealand in time soon. So let me quickly read you the latest update from the New Zealand Immigration Minister. As I said before, in the past, you did not need to write English language test if you're moving to New Zealand as an unskilled worker, but now you will need to be able to take English test if you're planning to move to New Zealand. So all you need to do is to get a job from an accredited employer in New Zealand. Once you get a job offer from an accredited employer and they send you an offer of employment, once you have your offer of contract of employment, that is what you need. New Zealand doesn't have embassy in a lot of countries. The visas is normally issued online. So all you need to do is to apply, send your passport to the New Zealand Immigration Services in their home country. You send it by DHL or in courier service. That is where they will issue your visa and send it back to you. So New Zealand is one of the best places to raise children. You only need to get a job from New Zealand, and New Zealand, as I said before, if you get a job on the green list, you will be given permanent residence, and you and your family can move to New Zealand straight away without no problem. So that is one of the easiest ways to move up to New Zealand. The second option, as I said before, is for you to get a job on the tier 2 list. You get a job on the tier 2 list. On that list, you have jobs such as mechanic, construction workers, and many more. You can also move to New Zealand as a seasonal worker as well. So the government's focus in New Zealand right now is to make sure that if you are moving to New Zealand, you will now need to take your English language proficiency test for you to move to New Zealand. And what the minister said, I'm going to read this to you. He says, I am bringing in a suite of changes that will improve the accredited employer scheme, ensure we are better testing the local labor market, and reducing the risk of putting New Zealanders. Many of these are not new, but they are what we have in place before the pandemic. Let me now explain the key changes. the introduction of English language requirement for migrants applying for low-skill role at level 4 or 5. Before, if you're applying for low-skill role in New Zealand, you do not need to have English test, but now you now need English test. A minimal skill and work experience criteria. Employers seeking to fill level 4 and 5 position must engage with work and income before migrant approval. The maximum continuous stay for such role will be reduced from 5 to 3 years. The franchise accreditation category will also be disbanded, and businesses will need to follow standard high volume or triangular employment accreditation process to hire overseas workers. These adjustments are aimed at bolstering the scheme's integrity and curbing migrant exploitation, aligning with recommendations from the recent Best Week review, which flagged systemic issues within the accredited employer scheme. Additionally, the government has shelved plan to add. The government was planning to add 11 roles to this role, such as welders, fitters, turners to the green list. Before, the government was planning to add fitters, welders, and 11 more roles to the green list, which means that if they had added these positions to the green list, if you're a welder, you get a job from New Zealand, you will be given permanent residence from your home country. However, if you're a welder, you can still go to New Zealand, but you will go there and you have 2 years to work in New Zealand before you now have permanent residence. The work to resident pathway for bus and truck driver will also cease for new applicants, reflecting resolve of shortage in the field. The minister framed that these changes as the initial step in a broader agenda to refine immigration system aiming for net migration management, talent attraction, and sustainable funding and improved skill management. That is the goal. So that is the latest update from New Zealand. You will still be able to go to New Zealand, but unlike when they were trying to introduce new pathway for whether fitters to be added to the green list, that is no longer on. You will now need to find a job as usual from an accredited employer in New Zealand. Stroll down to the description section if you're watching on our YouTube channel. The list of all the 40,000 approved employers in New Zealand is there. And there is also a link for you to do your CV according to New Zealand standard. No employer will ever call you if you do not have a good CV. If you do not have a good CV, you're watching this video and you're hoping to migrate abroad, you're wasting your time. The most important thing you need to invest in is information and having a fantastic CV, because the employer will not see you and they have thousands of CVs to pick. They will only pick the best ones that caught their eyes. I hope you have seen value for this information that I'm giving you. You'll still be able to go to New Zealand. If you find a job on the green list, you will be given permanent residence from your home country, and you and your family will be able to move to New Zealand. If you are a man, you have a wife, your wife will have an open work permit, which allows them to work in any sectors of the New Zealand economy. Your children will be able to access health and education free of charge. If you get a job on tier 2 list, you will be able to go to New Zealand after 2 years of living and working in New Zealand. You get your permanent resident, and the supporting spouse will have an open work permit. And if you go there as a bus driver or a carer, you will be able to have 2 years to work in New Zealand, after which you get your permanent resident. If you know anyone who is planning to move to New Zealand, please share this video with them. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. We want to help as many people as possible to legally migrate abroad so that you do not have to pay your hard-earned money to an agent. Follow this page, give this video a like, Leave your comment in the comment section. Share this video with your family and friends. Our mission is to help as many of you as possible. I'll see you soon.